Welcome back to the GSL Code A, ladies and gentlemen, with Artosis and Caldo. We just saw JYP 2-0 Seal. He's going to face Jakji in the next round.
Dude, Jakji has some pretty sick Terran versus Protoss, and JYP, his Protoss versus Terran is pretty sickly.
Yep. So this is going to be a very interesting round 2 match in Code A. And then the winner against MD
versus the winner of SC versus TSL Symbol. Winner versus Seed. So that's like a few rounds off, guys. Make your fantasy brackets now. All right. This next match, interesting. Soccer against Alive, of course. You like soccer, Caldor, and not just because you played Warcraft 3, but you're from Europe, and I hear that you guys really like it, and you call it football.
Actually, it's been really weird because I've been talking to so many people who do not live in Europe. So right now, for me, football is like both American football and football. And it's actually weird. I was thinking about it earlier because did you see that they have some kind of basketball tournament down there?
Down where? What?
At the school, right?
Oh, yeah. I saw
and it's really, I was so relieved because Koreans apparently are really, really bad at basketball. They are nearly as bad as I am. I am horrible. Give me a football, either a soccer football or football. I don't really care.
You know what? No, I don't.
And I can hold my own. But a basketball, oh my god, I'm so bad.
I don't actually buy that, Caldor. You know what I think it is Caldor is a superhuman. I don't know if any of you guys ever had your girlfriend made you watch Maid of Honor, but you're like that guy, that Scottish guy that just like, he's like, what's this game? And they hand him a basketball and he just dunks, and he's like, oh, I guess so.
I can run really, really fast. I can steal the ball from every player, but I just, for the love of God, I can't score.
Oh,
it is so weird. I can't just hit this thing.
Well, dude, just get assists, man. It's like the most important thing. No problem. I bet you can rebound like a monster, too. I bet you can dunk it.
Nah. No. I will stick to soccer and football, or soccer, football, however you call it. But let's just talk a bit about StarCraft II now, as we have a sick match coming up. To the bottom right in our TVP, we have in the red color our Fnatic player.
Fnatic Alive.
It is Alive. He just won the IPL, and you had an off-the-record show with him, didn't you?
Yes, I did. It was a lot of fun, guys. Go check that out. It should be free by now, even if you don't have the ticket. And it was me and Tasis and Alive and John the translator. Really fun.
And Alive is up against the Protoss this time, as in the IPL final where he faced StarTale Squirtle. Now it is
Slayer Soccer.
Slayer Soccer. And yeah, we have another off-the-record show tomorrow with you guys, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And it is going to be with Boom Boom Prime, actually, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So check that out. It'll be me and Tasis again. We wanted Caldor, but I guess I have to sub Tasis in for him. Caldor's going to be busy.
I have my Korean class tomorrow.
That's right, man.
I actually had a test on Monday.
Oh, how'd you do?
Not that bad. I actually thought it would be a lot worse because I was still sick, and well, since I came back from IPL, I tried to recover, and I still had medicine and a little bit of fever going. But then the test was actually not as bad. It was only a small one, like 20% of the main exam at the end of the term. So yeah, it was pretty okay. And whoa, look at soccer here.
Nexus first. He did scout very quickly as well. Now, I'll be very interested to see. Yes, it's going to be the Forge expand. Now, this is a build that is growing immensely in power and popularity in the Korean metagame. We're seeing a lot of Forge Fast expands against Terran. This allows extremely quick upgrades by the Protoss player.
I'm a bit surprised by this opening because Sela already told us earlier that they kind of studied the playstyle of Alive, and Alive is kind of known for starting with 2 barracks early on, and just as a precaution to make sure that if the Protoss player is playing too greedy, that they can't punish him. So I did not really expect Soccer to go for a very greedy build here.
Yeah, you know, it's a bit greedy, but so far it's shown that it doesn't die early. All the games that I've seen this build lose with recently, and we've seen a lot of players doing it. We've seen Slayer's Alicia using it. We've seen Oz using it a lot. Oz used it a lot in his GSL group. He was going Nexus first almost every game, and a lot of them with this build. In fact, I just rewatched all those VODs today. But look at this, a little bit of harassment. Of course, that's not going to end up doing anything because it's a cannon. But I mean, this is so far we haven't seen this build lose early. We're going to have to see what Alive's late game is like against this. And in fact, Alive is going double gas against this, and I'm excited to see this because I have not seen a Terran actually go quick double gas after expand against this build yet.
It's going to be very interesting to see in, well, completely what Alive is going to do here. He's such an amazing player against Protoss, something that Squirtle had to realize at the IPL finals. And let's just face it, I mean, Squirtle was beating Terrence left, right, bottom, and center at IPL. He defeated Marinki and defeated everyone. And then suddenly he's up against Alive, and Alive losing the first best of 5, but bouncing back and then taking the second one 3-0. So we have nearly the whole Fnatic team here. We have Todd here, we have even Moon and Night End are going to come in a few seconds in order to cheer for Alive. So a lot of team support here as well. That's something that I really love, by the way.
Yeah, it's really nice to see a lot of teammates come out and watch that. Really have a good time cheering on their teammate. It really gives them a lot of pride, you know?
And right now we have the +1 armor upgrade, so we're going for a bit of a gateway-heavy playstyle here. And at the same time now this Banshee build, so we're probably going to see Banshee maybe with Cloak. And this is not going to be easy for Soccer actually to hold if you think about it. He has the Forge, he can throw down cannons, but he doesn't have pylons in position at his natural.
Now the one thing I do want to point out though is that the Slayers team, you know, a lot of times builds are refined within a team, so that we'll see a lot of the same build pop up within a team, and we've seen that before with Slayers. And we did see, if anyone's been watching the NASL, Alicia was getting a very quick observer with this build against Thorazane, so I would not be surprised if he does throw down a relatively quick Robo, but if he doesn't, I mean, he might be dead because Cloak has started.
Oh, but here's the pylon right now. We have Cloak started, but the pylon on the high ground, so suddenly he's in a position where he can at least drop a cannon, and that is going to be very, very important. So nice positioning here, but will it be enough? There's the Robo now.
Yeah, and the timing of that Robo, I think, is enough to be okay. You know, it's 43 probes to 34 SCVs, so even if he loses some of his probes, his economy is still going to be relatively good, reasonably well off, and the Banshee should not be a game ender, which we would see, of course, if he was not getting that Robo, the Banshee would just actually kill him. That would be the end of the game.
Yeah, you're so right. A Banshee uncontested in the main base is going rampage, will kill everything and just cripple the economy, but this timing is working out perfectly for Soccer here.
Yeah. Well, we will see how Alive deals with this. Of course, you know, even if they do have detection, Cloaked Banshees make them make a lot of observers. Really puts a lot of fear into them, especially if you don't lose them. They're going to have to watch out for those all game long, especially later on when you're trying to multitask elsewhere. So Alive definitely can make something happen out of this, but as far as economy goes, I really like the spot of Soccer right now, and in fact, he's getting Blink, so he's going to have a ton of units against an Alive who, not really as many. When you go for a Cloaked Banshee rush, you don't have that many regular units, so any attacks coming up after he holds this off could be extremely powerful.
We already have the Banshee entering the main base. The pylon to the right side, we saw that earlier, was taken down. And now the Banshee trying to do some damage here. Raven for Alive to follow this up. And already the +2 armor upgrade for Soccer. And now he has to go back with all of his probes here. Where exactly is the observer, though?
The first one is about to pop out. He is making a second one as well. But, you know, so far, good amount of kills. 6 kills, now 7. That's really good. More than actually even I thought he was going to get.
He might be able to pick off a sentry as well. Yes, he is. He picks off the sentry. Very nice. And the second Banshee already at the natural right now. Wow, this is doing so much damage. A lot more than I expected.
Yeah, Alive is kicking some serious ass here, man. And then Stalker comes in. Will he be able to kill that Banshee? That Banshee will not die.
He's taking down the Stalker and saving both of his Banshees. 8 kills, and how much does the second one have? 5, 8 and 5. Very well done. 15 workers killed in total. This is just brutal.
47 probes of 46 SCVs, and don't forget there's mules out there as well, so the economy of Alive is actually going to be better than the economy of Soccer right now. And so Soccer is in trouble.
Alive now going for the double upgrades as well. He has double engineering bay. I really like what Soccer did in the early game. You mentioned how fast he can get all these upgrades with the Forge player that he used. He already completes his +2 armor upgrade, so he will have a lead here, but the economy for Alive is just so much better at this point.
Yeah, his economy is pretty sick, but with 2 upgrades against, you know, a +1 attack is only not even halfway done right now.
Started.
Yeah, that's a really slow upgrade. So we're at least going to see for Soccer map control. He may go for some sort of kill move because he did lose a lot of units, but he's going to have map control for a long time. His charge is going to finish up, and with that +2 armor and +1 attack on the way, which will probably finish around the same time as Alive's +1 attack. I mean, Alive can't touch it with these Marines. They do almost no damage.
What do you think with this build when you play? Would you like to add a second forge right now, especially with the third base that it just completed for Soccer, in order to make sure that you still maintain this upgrade advantage? Because we have the double engineering bay now.
I gotta say, I love that question. I think it's a beautiful idea to go ahead and do that. And I think if you're adding a second forge to this build, you're gonna have to do one of those funny builds where you're actually also getting plasma shields, because you're getting these upgrades so quickly. Plasma shields would fit into that because you're crushing out your upgrades so quickly. So I would love to see that. That would be a great way for him to say, okay, my economy, oh my god, he is getting that second forge caliber. But I love it. It's a great way to say, okay, you hurt my economy some. What am I ahead in? I'm ahead in upgrades. Let me stay ahead in upgrades as much as I can.
We now even have the Storm, we have Bling, we have +1 attack, the second forge really pumping out those upgrades on 3 bases now. And we have his opponent on 3 bases as well. But once again, the Banshee doing damage here in a beautiful position. The cannon is revealing the Banshee, but that's all there's to it at this point. And we have 10 kills, 11!
Wow. Oh my god.
This is ridiculous. 21 worker kills.
That is a huge amount of worker kills. And in fact, 66 probes, 62 SCVs, keeping that probe count down so low. And, you know, the thing is, he can't really chrono boost out his probes right now because he's chronoing so hard on his upgrades. But I really appreciate that he did get that second forge. Going to keep his upgrades ahead at least.
We have the Mervis Reactor coming up for Live, who added the Ghost Academy, so he's already preparing for the EMPs here. And Stim is finally done, +1 armor as well. He didn't line up his upgrades perfectly, so the +2 upgrades did not just start for Yaife. There we go, adding +2, and is preparing for the push right now with the Medivacs that he has and the Raven with full energy.
Ooh, I think we might see some auto turrets going down. And that's going to be pretty cool. His army is out in the middle. He's got to be careful, though. We do have a lot of upgrades on Soccer. Soccer right now with 1-2 upgrades against the 1-1, so Live is catching up.
This is the perfect timing for the auto turrets, while the Banshee is still doing damage, and here comes the Raven throwing down the auto turrets, and that's going to be a lot of kills. Outside the range of the cannon, at least for now. 5 ghosts being added, and Alive, he is everywhere.
Man, this is what we were talking about earlier with the Cloaked Banshees, why even in the late game, you know, he was trying to get an engagement in the center with his good upgrades, and Alive just comes in with its Banshee once again, with his auto turrets as well, and 28 worker kills. That's huge.
Wow, this is just amazing. He took down so many harvesters already. Alive is maxed out. He's nearly maxed out against 140 supply for Soccer.
That's rough, man. I don't care how good your upgrades are. When you have that supply lead that Alive has, that is a scary place for Protoss. In fact, Soccer has to back up right now. If he engages, he will lose this fight.
Yeah, he definitely will. He's losing the Archon already and not even baiting a Stim here. But will the Storms, Storms is the one thing that he needs right now, but will the EMPs hit before that?
Oh man, I think they might.
Oh yes, I think it just did.
A couple good Storms actually going on for Soccer. He does still have good upgrades. A lot of his Zealots actually stuck behind, unfortunately, and they're going single file to their death right now. Another Side Storm does come down, but Alive might just have too much here.
Yeah, he still has a ton of Marauders left, dodging another Storm here. The reinforcements are coming in, and here comes the Stim for Alive, and he's getting serious. All his army is down to the red and the orange, but will he be able to pull through here? I actually think he might.
May be able to. We do have actually the upgrades just finished for Soccer, so he's going 2-3, and in fact he's getting plasma shields in +3. He's using the plasma shields. That's what I said you had to do with that second forge. It makes sense, trust me.
And the upgrades for Alive, he was in a bit of a bad timing here because his +2 was just not finished, so the upgrade advantage for Soccer was actually huge with the upgrades that just finished for him.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's the basis on holding that off right there. But his unit count is very low. He's still down by 45-ish supply. There's a lot of energy on the ghosts of his opponent, but Soccer has an observer over his army, which is really nice.
And once again, these auto turrets, they are just so annoying, and they force Soccer to constantly pay attention to his main base. He just can't get rid of this Raven.
Yeah, it is so annoying. He needs to actually throw a Stalker over there. He does have Blink, so he could chase it down maybe a little bit. But Alive right now, pushing, prodding, pressuring.
I'm a little bit surprised that Alive doesn't scan the Observer. He must have realized by now that there's an Observer following his main army the entire time.
Seriously, that's an important thing to actually realize, but I guess he just has not yet. Now, we do have a Colossus switch coming on. Thermal Lance is not done, so it's not quite as powerful as it could be otherwise, and Alive is actually going to get flanked here. Alive actually got way too cocky there for a moment, and those storms kind of whipped.
Nice storms here, but Soccer is playing this actually pretty darn well. Yeah, and look at Alive's army just running for it.
Soccer actually really impressing right now. He's been down in supply for a long time. His upgrades, though, paying off very well. His unit composition's doing a good job against Alive's superior macro. And now Alive, well, it looks like he will break through here, but he's lost most of his medevacs. He's down to 1 medevac. And in fact, another upgrade is just finished for Soccer, that +1 plasma shields. And if he can just get a decent army up one more time against this very low count of medevacs, that's going to be great for him.
Soccer killed a ton of the medevacs in the last fight, and this is so important. And now we, once again, we have the decision for Alive, which is not going to be easy. He needs the medevacs because he just lost all of them, but at the same time, he saw the Colossus switch, so he wants Vikings, and he has to make a choice here.
And that's a great thing.
Oh my god!
Oh, very important cannon right there. That cannon waiting for the Banshees to ever come back. So good move there.
Yeah, but here we have 2 Vikings right now. We don't have any medivacs at all since the medivac just died. He built 1, but yeah, this is a very tough choice to make.
It is the toughest, Caldor, and right now 3-1-3 upgrades for Soccer. 3-1-3 against the 2-2 of his opponent. Alive, almost halfway done his 3-3, but really the story is exactly what you were just saying, not having enough medevacs.
And +2 shields. He is still sticking with his upgrades. And, well, Protoss in the late game with their highly upgraded armies, getting so strong, especially with the charge upgrade, always just pushing these bio units in front of you, and just making sure that there's a huge distance between the bio units and the Colossus so that he can use his entire range.
Yeah, and he did finally scan that Observer for you, Caldor. He realized, oh, wait a minute, no wonder he's been holding on everywhere. He knows every move I'm making. But that robo in use by Soccer to make more and more Colossus right now, which of course is the right choice. He needs to get out a super powerful army, which is exactly what he's doing. He's got a lot of High Templars, Archons, and Colossus mixed in with his Speed Zealots.
And there's the drop in the main base, finally successful, immediately warming in a few units, though the cannon from the low ground is attacking as well. The Zealots charge in here, and a feedback, a nice feedback, but not good enough to take down the medivac.
No, but with that feedback, that medevac not going to be as good next time. Hard to heal up the units that have already been softened up a little bit. So Soccer is, I mean, this is an amazing fighting back that he's done, basically. He's taken the 4th base. He's gotten great upgrades. He's gotten a great unit composition. It looks several times like he was about to die, but he has held on, and he's actually looking like he's going to take the lead in a little bit here.
And Atosis, I must say that I am so impressed by Soccer here. I really did not expect to do him to do this well against Alive.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Alive IPL champion. He's kicked ass in the GSL recently as well. You expect him to actually just go so far, and you know, here he is in Code A, fighting for his life. He might fall down to Code B.
Yeah, exactly. And just look at it, both players now taking the 5th base already. We have an awesome match, 23 minutes in the game. We have Soccer not only getting speed for his Observer, but now researching speed for his War Prism, and we have +3 shields. I can't actually remember when I've last seen this upgrade.
When is the last time that you saw +3 plasma shields? A lot of times, by the time you're there at +3 for plasma shields, you just don't get it. You're like, well, he's going to EMP it anyways. Like, that's so expensive, you know? But he's getting it. So we're going to have fully maxed out, fully upgraded Protoss army against the same from Terran, who does have 3-3 now. And oh my god! He's on move command! Oh! He may have just thrown this game away, losing 2 Colossus, now 3 Colossus going down, and everything filing in single file. Oh man. The move command is a bad command, guys.
Wow, and I actually think I might know what went wrong here. Oh my god, I was just about to mention 2 Archons who got stuck into the main base, and he had to get them out somehow. I think that was what he was focusing on.
Okay. Well, that's actually just too bad because, I mean, this had turned into an epic game, an epic comeback by Soccer.
One move command.
Yeah, one mistake, man. Right into Alive's army. Alive's sitting there right now. He's going, ha 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 ha. I don't know why that just happened, but now I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know why it happened, but I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna complain.
Of course, man.
And now he has his army in the main base of Soccer to take down everything. Unpowered already half of the buildings. and Alive is just adding more and more command centers, but at this point it doesn't really matter what he does.
Yeah, that's pretty much it at this point. That's actually, what an unfortunate end to actually an epic game, really. It really looked like Soccer was dead so much, and it took until he made a gigantic mistake that Alive would actually win it.
And that's just something that you don't expect. You make your move command, you focus on something else in your main base, and suddenly you look back and you're like, oh my god, what just happened? All my units just ran single-filed into my opponent's army.
There are times, there are places for move commands. It's an important command, but you have to be so careful. You don't know exactly where their army is. You should be attack moving almost every single time.
Yeah.
Soccer with a very basic mistake. Of course, he knows that. He knows that. This is a frustrating loss for him, no doubt about it.
Indeed, indeed. He looked so good against Alive here, and he must be really upset with this. One single mistake might have cost him the game here, and now we have 150 supply against 80.
What are you going to do, man? GG. Soccer going down to Alive, but it was actually very close. I actually have gained a lot more respect for Soccer. He hasn't really done anything in StarCraft II yet. You know, of course, he made it into the GSL a couple times. That, in and of itself, very impressive. But this is the first time I looked at him and said, wow, there is a pretty darn good Protoss player.
Yeah, he played really well here. Live, on the other hand, he took the game, and Soccer is visibly upset about this, and I know I would be. I mean, you might
I'm upset about it right now, and I have no connection to this man. I'm just like, oh, that's...
You know, even if you take the fight and you lose it, you're at least, okay, well, I know why I lost, so I did a mistake here, but this is just a mistake. You don't want any player to lose a game because of this.
Yes, of course. And, I mean, Alive is even like, wow, this is a lot harder than I thought that would be. Of course, Cello, we saw in there talking to Soccer. I wonder how that conversation goes. He's like, oh, did you hear where you use move command? Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. And he's like,
why didn't you tell me
I always
earlier?
wonder what they say after that. Realistically, he's saying, you know what, stay calm. You actually played really great. You got far behind in the beginning. It actually looked like you were going to die, and you came right back. Great play. Just stay to your game plan. You can do this.
And just look at the next map.
Dual site.
Dual site.
Dual site, guys. Well, Alive, he has some good cheesy builds, and if he's going to use one in the series, good chance he'll be here. But, you know, this map has been so popular for 1 and 2 base all-ins that we've seen a little bit less of them. I haven't seen as many 1-on-1s on here lately, just because everyone's like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to do 1-on-1, you know?
I actually kind of think that Alive is probably going to stick with this Banshee build once again. He really likes those slow Banshees, and that's something that I've seen him do on dual side over and over again. So it might be something that he's going to pull out once more. But I'm really more interested in what exactly Soccer is going to do with the build that he used on the last map, and just his overall style. I really like this.
Yeah.
And we might see him with a little bit of a variation here.
Yeah, if he does do a Nexus first here, can't do it with the cannon. This has 2 entrances. You can't really cover it. You'd have to do one of the gateway ones, you know, where you just start pumping out Zealots, Stalkers right away. But we don't normally see Nexus first here, so...
Especially against Live. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of the maps where Live used second barracks quite often. And it's just so smart. If you go, for example, for 1 barracks into expand as a Terran player, why not just throw down the second barracks, play in a little bit of a proxy position, as he does, for example, on Daybreak, Dual... No, this is dual side on Daybreak as well.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you can punish your opponent, but if he doesn't go for it, you just throw down the command center nonetheless. You lose a little bit of time, but it just opens up so many different strategies and a lot of options for you.
Yeah, it absolutely does. So we'll have to see what he wants to go for here. Of course, as you just saw on the bottom of the screen, follow Hot6 on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Hot6. And of course, we just got Caldor over 10,000 likes on his Facebook fan page. Go there, Caldor TV, facebook.com/Caldor TV.
Thank you very much,
and
guys.
Give him a like.
And thanks to you.
Dude, you got to pump yourself up, man. Guys, while you're at it, like Artosis on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Artosis, and you're Caldor on Twitter. Do it, guys. It's important. We have a lot of important stuff to say that you need to hear. It's mostly about StarCraft.
Mostly. And, well, while we're talking about StarCraft, we have game number 2 coming up, Live against Soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the second game? This is the GSL Code with Artosis and Caldor. If you need it, you got to let go.
I don't know, man. I don't pick the songs here.